kelas dengan pelajaran sudah terdokumen. Di sini saya akan menyimak video yang telah dikirimkan link di Telegram itu mengenai materi Node.js First Course. Dari sini saya akan menyimak bagaimana penjelasan dari materi.
It's a good start to just learn Node by itself and know what it's capable of. Right? So back, following a bunch of to explore new technologies. You don't really have a space in the industry, so I would definitely suggest starting with Node.js. I would never suggest that someone start with something like Node.js or because it's so new, and you're most likely not going to find jobs using those technologies. There's also not really, a large community of support for them either. So Node.js is very fast and scalable due to its architecture and V8 engine. It's also pretty popular. I think it's something like 6.3 million websites use Node.js, and it's used by companies like Netflix, Uber, LinkedIn. And in addition to large companies, Node is also a really popular option for startups and smaller projects as well. Now, I just want to quickly go over what we're going to cover course and kind of the order we're going to do it in. So, of course, we're talking about now what Node.js is. I'll talk a bit about how it works under the hood as well. We're going to install it, set up a project, set up the package.json, kind of like a manifest file. We're going to look at some custom modules, which are basically just files that we can create, and we can import and export functions and data from those files to and from those files. And there's really two module systems that we can use. There's CommonJS, which is kind of Node.js's native system, and then you can also use ES module, which is the import syntax that you use with React, Vue, and all the front-end JavaScript stuff. So I'm going to show you both, but ultimately we're going to stick with ES modules. It's what I prefer. It's more modern. Now, when it comes to the core modules that Node includes, I think the HTTP module is one of the most important to kind of understand when you're getting started. And this is what allows you to create a server and accept requests from different. So part of this tutorial will be using the HTTP module. Now, in real life, like I said earlier, you'd probably use something like Express, which is a web framework that makes things much easier. I'm also going to be revamping my Express crash course as well. But Express uses or sits on top of the HTTP module, so it's good to know how this works and how to accept requests, how to work with them, to send responses back, send JSON back, and deal with HTTP headers and methods and all that stuff. That's really what we're going to cover in this course, in that part of the course. We're even going to look at some custom middleware, which are functions that sit between incoming requests and outgoing responses. Now, when it comes to some of the other core modules, we're going to be going over those in the second part of the course. So file system module, path module, URL, events, things like that. We'll cover the basics of those as well. Now, one common mistake that I see people do is jump to Node.js too quickly. Before learning Node.js, you should have a good understanding of JavaScript. So, of course, you should know all the fundamentals, variables, functions, loops, object classes. You should have a good understanding of that stuff, most definitely. Now, I also suggest that you understand asynchronous programming, so you should know things like callbacks, promises, the simple syntax. Chances are you'll be building applications and JSON APIs with Node.js, so you should understand how HTTP works, the request response cycle. You should know about HTTP methods like get, post, put, delete. You should know the common status codes, 204, 500, things like that. And you will be learning more about this stuff as you learn about Node.js, and even in this very video. Now, you probably are coming from front-end JavaScript, so you've probably worked with APIs, JSON APIs. You've probably consumed them. Now you're going to be creating them most likely. So it helps if you already have a basic understanding of how they work. Like I said, HTTP methods and status codes and all that. And then NPM, the Node Package Manager, you probably have some experience with. I mean, if you're using React or any front-end framework, you're usually installing that stuff with NPM, so you probably have an idea, but you will also learn about NPM and package.json stuff in this video. All right, so let's talk a little bit about how Node.js works, and I'm not going to go too deep into this because I want this to be practical and easily digestible, but right there, how Node works under the hood. So as I said, Node is built on top of the V8 JavaScript engine, which is the same power tool with Chrome. Other browsers have their own engines, like Firefox has SpiderMonkey, Safari has JavaScript Core. The V8 engine is written in C++, and it takes your JavaScript code and converts it into machine code so your computer can understand. And Node has taken this engine and extended it to work on the server side. Now, Node.js is what we call non-blocking, which means that it doesn't wait around for IO operations, which are output operations, and those are things like network calls, file system operations, database operations. And instead of blocking the execution of code while waiting for these things to happen, these things to complete, Node.js uses events and callbacks, and this allows it to handle thousands of connections at the same time, and this is why Node.js is so fast and efficient. Now, in Node.js, there's a single main thread that executes your JavaScript code, and you think the thread as instructions that the computer executes. And in a single thread environment, there's only one set of instructions that are executed at a time. This is different from multi-threaded environments where you have multiple threads that can execute different parts of your code simultaneously. So Node.js uses something called the event loop, which is a mechanism that allows Node to perform non-blocking I/O operations. And when you make a network request, for example, Node.js doesn't wait for that request to complete. Instead, it continues to execute the rest of your code, and when that request does complete, it triggers a callback, which is then added to the event queue, and the event loop picks up the callback and then executes it. So I know this is a little tough to understand, so the analogy that I like to kind of describe what to me is, imagine if the event loop has a giant revolving door or something like that, and each person represents a task or operation initiated. It has a person in the task. Instead of waiting for them to complete their business inside the mall, we call that the task execution, Node.js keeps the revolving door spinning, signifying the event loop. Now, each person finishes their task in the building, they exit the revolving door, representing the completion of their task, and the event loop door keeps the flow going, handling incoming tasks, and ensuring that the program execution remains uninterrupted. So when a callback executes in Node.js, it's akin to a person executing a revolving door, and it would mark the completion of their task. And while the event loop keeps processing and flowing, it waits for others to enter. Now, I don't know if that analogy helps or just confused you more, but it's kind of how it works, and it's not that important for you as a beginner. It's a simple task. What Node.js is great for is CPU-intensive applications. So as we talked about, it uses an event loop, which makes it great for I/O operations, but not so great for CPU-intensive operations. So if you're doing a lot of heavy computation and things like that, you probably want to look more into like Python.
Jadi